So, good evening, folks. Buenos tardes. I don't know how the fuck you say it, how I only know like English, Spanish, Shabonics, and something else. But, point is, people say, he couldn't make it as a comic, and I'm sitting there thinking, well, you laughed at me before for free of charge. And then I heard a little old lady say, well, I'd pay to see you make me laugh, and I was like, hell, I've had people pay to fucking have me fix their plumbing. I've had people pay for me to build their house. I've had people pay for just about everything. I just, minus sex. Obviously, I ain't that good, so. But I can build everything. Just, I gotta earn sex, obviously. But point is, I think this one right here is really funny. Because I'm over here just like, it wasn't until a few weeks ago, like I've been sitting in the dark room for a little while, just kind of stewing on all my comedic genius, obviously. Had to get my comedic geniuses from my comedic geniuses. I'm a quote Stanhope, Carlin, fucking Kevin Hart. Goddamn, I can keep on going down the list. Point is, there's so many of the comics that, I just want to give a shout out to, and I just can't. Especially if this is only going to be like a 15-minute spot that maybe might give me something to go hot. So, hey, you guys, here the fuck I am. I'm not fixing your plumbing tonight. That right there, you can talk to me after the show. Not fixing your electrical. That's going to cost you more. Because I don't like getting shocked. So I've been trying to quit smoking. Yeah, I ain't killed nobody yet. I'm going to tell you guys, that is one of the hardest challenges ever, because I've quit every vice that I've ever had, minus drinking and smoking. Honestly, those two right there are going to be the hardest, because, well, those are the two that are keeping people alive. And if I'm wrong for that, then just tell me, and I'm going to be like, well, I will gladly be wrong, baby. I will gladly be wrong. And if that should be a problem, then, well, I will gladly be your number one problem, because if I'm your number one problem, that means you were obviously too goddamn stupid to be focused on all the other shit going on in the world, like, human trafficking, world wars, war on terrorism, the war on drugs. Come on, guys. Get your fucking shit together. People been screaming that at me for years, and I'm over here like, oh my God, you're right. I need to get my shit together. Well, that's a lot easier said than done, ladies and gentlemen. I hate to be that guy, but when you're tired of your butthole getting fucked, that's when you holler at me and be like, oh, well, I'm trying to do better. Yeah, I know. Mine was straight Joe gaping. Hell, I had a girl peg me, and I'm still trying to find shit that's disturbing to me. I used to watch all these fucked up videos about beheadings and hangings, and I'm like, it's not doing it for me, Captain. And people are like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I'm like, you mean today or in general? Because if we go, like, today, like, I'm going to start pinpointing shit, which is not the best question to ask. If we're going to go with in general, I can at least give you a list. Okay? A list. About yay big. And I think people need to, like, cool and calm the chicks just for the simple fact that I have to cool and calm mine so often. I've had people get mad at me for saying the word Toby. And I was referring to myself as Toby. I was like, good God. I'm more Toby than you are. Obviously, you've never been the man in the family. Let me go ahead and tell you here, baby. When you bust your hand with that hammer, you keep on going. Kind of like getting hit with a whip in the back. When the supervisor says, you got to go for a drug test, it's like, no, I'm just going to wrap it up. We'll be fine. All right. So on to the next. People get really mad, and I'm just over here like, dude, you get mad at my words? Imagine what the fuck I can do. So I quit smoking, per se. I mean, I'm still letting vapors in there. Doesn't mean I still don't need a cigarette every now and then, because life is hard. Get a helmet. Life is a motherfucker. Just make sure she's a beautiful one. Or at least make sure it's toes curl. That means you're doing it right. So I've learned. And do not ever listen to her words. No, if you are a man in this room tonight, do not listen to her words. Her words will mislead you. If her body does not say, ah! Then you're not doing a good enough job. You don't deserve that sandwich. How do I know? Because I deserve that sandwich. And trust me, I know, because I don't get fucked very often, so I try to make sure it's worth it. I try to make sure I get something every time I'm going in. And people get all upset at that. And so I got my jokes about, love and marriage. Here's my favorite one coming up. Don't worry. If you think marriage is bad, just wait till I get you bashing religion. That'll come up later. Love and marriage, okay? Love and marriage. We're going to start with marriage because it's so much easier. I'm going to quote some of my favorite comedians and thank God they were there before me because they put it in words better than I could have. So, marriage, one of the reasons I'm against it, Doug Stanhope, he gives me all three reasons. Well, technically 2 out of 3. 1, I'm going to bet half to all my stuff that you're going to love me forever. 2, listen ain't Stanhope. For every one person that hates you in that family, trust me, there's more than you think of. That's a multiplier. So whenever your old lady gets mad, just remember, she has a multiplier. Great. I love you so much, I'm gonna get the lawyers and judges involved. Oh, God. Don't love me that much. Just love me just enough. Like, love me properly, but not like that. Now, love in general. Love is a fickle, funny thing because nowadays we've got options. Especially with everybody in their goddamn smartphones. You know how I know this? Hell, everybody stared at the smartphones, including me, myself included, and I. Hence the reason we're here today. And I think it's funny because all my past relationships ended through a phone. They technically also began through a phone. Well, no. All of mine began in the way like 90s babies did, conversation. Oh, yeah, I know. Like, I could dying arts, and now that don't happen no more. But now it's just a point of them damn phones. And people can hate on me because they're like, you're not even old enough to hate on it. And it's like, bruh, I'm going on 32-year-old. I was born in a generation where you had to actually talk to people. And I'm an introvert. Antisocial, if you will. Now I got a real fucking problem. I can actually talk to you through a cell phone and remain introverted. I was like, oh shit. Then they told me, it's like, you can do comedy, right? I'd pay you to see you make me laugh. I was like, my God, honey, I think I just might jump on that train. Keep in mind, older lady told me this. Nah, 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 nah. The whole reason I mean like this, like, most time when they tell you that, it's because one, you're funny, you make them laugh. And see, I was never a pretty boy. I was never a pretty boy. I was a pretty handy boy. I knew how to do shit, you know, blah, blah, blah. So, you start to learn that when they say, I'd pay to make me laugh. All right, well, you could have got it for free, but it would have cost you later. I think I'm just an asshole anyway, but I think a lot of people get mad at this shit, and I'm over here thinking, damn, we could have made it so much further if we didn't have iPhones. I know, I'm terrible. So, let's go on to the next subject. So I'm sitting here working all these jobs just because I know that back in the 50s, it's like, well, if I work this job, I can buy a house. Nowadays, when the journey I'm living on is like, well, if I work enough jobs, I can afford rent. Yeah. And the silence ensues, and the darkness creeps a little further in my head. It's like, no, I'm doing it legally. I know, it's all legal money. So that's why people get a little upset here, and I'm over here like thinking, well, I mean, I could if I can be like everybody else, just, you know, kind of slide something, did something. But no. I proceeded to go in and call myself Toby, which inherently had to piss some people off who never had to work as hard as I did to even survive, which is ironic to me because, you know, they're supposed to be black people that got mad at me for this. But yet, being female, they could get away with this, alright? Because a black guy gonna look at me and say, hey man, we cool. Especially once he sees me swing a hammer. Because I swing that hammer like I'm mad at my old lady. Trust me. They see me work, they're just like, okay, we got no problem, brother man. And I think it's really funny because it seems to be the ones that I create problems with are the ones who should have no problem with me. And I'm kind of like, so you're a shit stirrer. Well, I mean, I like to stir the pot myself, but at least when I stir it, I put peppers in the hole, make it spicy, you know, inhale it. That's why when I breathe in, it's ready for the next rail. Feel me? And that's the joke of the night. Now I still got like another minute and a half of this little section that I'm going to bring you. It's like my 15 minutes of fucking fame. I've been called out by several for wanting my 15 minutes of fame. And bet your ass, bet your sweet cornbread fed ass I want that fucking 15 minutes. Because with that 15 minutes of fame, I just might get, you know, $15,000, maybe some shit like that. Because see, what I can do with 15,000 is like, I'll take it, I'll invest in a tiny house. People are like, why would you do that? And it's like, well, I'm not going to invest in my old lady because that's just a dumb move. Because then I got to invest in Prada, got to invest in Gucci, name brand shit. Okay, look, when I invest in a tiny house, I don't need name brand. I just need wood, plumbing, insulation. Come on, you know what it takes to build a house if you ain't dumb. I mean, come on, like, boom, boom, boom. You got your shit around you, and then you put in the interior. And if that's so bad, I guess I'm going to be an asshole. But hey, Y'all be good. God bless you. Y'all have a fucking wonderful night. Let's get it on.